All right, guys, we are going to start. We are going to do another mixed coin hunt. Um, this is quite the cobbled together batch of coins. So, it's kind of funny how this worked out because, so based, to kind of start this off, I I will say that some of these coins I already did have. From my because I don't know if you guys saw my last video, but if you do, I say in the intro that I didn't include all the nickels and I didn't include all the pennies. So the rest of the nickels that I got from that trip are in this hunt, and they're mixed in with some of the custom wrap rolls. I believe they're ones like these. The pennies, who knows? I know these three are not ones I already had. I think these three might be though. But so some of the nickels and some of the pennies I already had, and then I ended up going to this other bank. Now this Chase branch, it isn't a branch that you go into and give them a list of what you're looking for. This is one of those banks where they kind of tell you what they have rather than you giving them a list. So that's usually what they're more comfortable with doing, I've noticed, than me like saying, hey, can I get $100 in quarters, 50 in dimes, like kind of like that. It seems like they prefer telling me what they can sell. And because of that, I often end up getting weird amounts of coin. But this bank seems to stockpile coin a crap ton. And it's also this is also a bank where you can either get all searched coin or you can do really, really, really well. It seems like I either get collection dumps at this bank or I end up getting totally skunked. The good news is most of these coins look pretty unique. The only thing I'm worried about, a lot of the dimes do look the same, but looking at them closer, they do look like they might have came from different places. Who knows? So, because they were kind of telling me what they have, and they had some nickels that they were willing to sell, and they even had some pennies, actually. And I was actually able to create a $25 custom wrapped penny box from the rest of the pennies that I had from my last trip, and I had gotten $14 at this bank. And so, I had created $25, and these are just the extras. These are just the extras that I still had. It looks like it's about $3 or so. But they had a ton of dimes, and I had taken about $300 in cash with me. So I was buying about $100 worth of other coin. They also had some half dollars that didn't end up having anything, so I, got rid of those. But I ended up buying like $200 in dimes. So not all of the dimes are here. I did actually hunt a few of the dime rolls for one of my time-lapse videos. But so, I had gotten a ton of dimes. And the ironic thing is when I went into this bank, I was actually looking for quarters, and they actually had no quarters whatsoever. And then, I went to a couple other banks, and I was only able to get a couple rolls, a couple of the machine wrapped ones here. And I went back out to the bank again today, and I got another $80 in machine wrapped, and then I got another 3 rolls from another my most local Chase. So this is a real cobbled batch of coins. Initially it was gonna be just pennies, nickels, and dimes, but I did manage to finally get some quarters. There also is one loose $half right there. So I've been talking for a long time. I'm gonna get into the hunt. I'll start with the pennies this time. I know last couple hunts I've ended on the pennies, so let's start with the pennies, and then we'll work our way up in denomination. The $half I don't think is anything special. Yeah, 1971. So I'll just set that aside. But I'll get into the pennies, and I'll bring you in on my very first find. All right. I was worried we weren't going to get anything in the pennies, but I'm on the very last roll. And I see at least 2 Wheaties in this roll. I see one right there that was still by the date. The camera still will not autofocus. 1945. Out of Philly. And then we got one right here. $1953 out of San Francisco. All right, that is that's 2. Oh, was that another one? Yep, we got another one. Wow, this roll sure as heck saved us. We got a still not focused. 1945 out of Philly. Well, I certainly did not expect this. Let's see if there are any more. I don't see any more, but 3 wheat pennies in one roll is something I will always take. All right, let's keep going. All right, I'm on roll 1 of the nickels, and I started with the machine wrapped, and got a find in the 40s. We got a 1949 out of Denver. All right, that's our first find in the nickels. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Is this something? Nope. 76. 64. All right, let's keep going. All right, I'm on roll number 3, and I got a relatively nice 1954 in pretty good shape. Yeah. All right, that's first in the 50s. Let's continue. All right, we're on the last of the machine wrapped rolls. I got a 1958 out of Denver. Newest one so far. All right, I'm on the first roll of the customer wrapped, and I got a 1951 here. 1951 out of Denver. That is our 4th coin in the 50s. Let's keep going. All right, I'm on roll number 3 of the customer wrapped, and I got a 1959 out of Denver. All right, let's keep going. One thing I forgot to say is I'm glad that that last penny roll saved us, because if I hadn't gotten anything in that penny roll, we would have been skunked for wheat pennies. Another thing I forgot to say was the totals of everything. We got, of course, that one $50. I did have some other $50, as you guys know, including some loose ones. But, so yeah, we got, we had the one loose $50. We had 130 in quarters, $160 in dimes, and $66 in nickels, and $3 in pennies. All right, let's keep going. Oh, I also wanted to share that I did do a YouTube short on this, so a lot of you guys might already know about it, but I don't know how the tellers did not notice that short roll. Holy cow. All right, in a previous roll, I had gotten another 1954 out of San Francisco this time, but I bring you in for an estimated coin that looks pretty worn, so let's see what it is. 1946. A little bit of a better date, and that is officially our oldest of the nickels. Let's... who knows? We might get an older one here. Who knows? Oh! Look at that, guys! Holy cow! Look at that! Holy crap, guys! Look! You might, oh man, I gotta look through all of these now. Hold on. I should be looking a lot closer at these dates. Look at this, guys. Holy cow. I finally found my first 2024 nickel. It's funny, like, you know, if this was any other coin, it's a 2020s Jefferson nickel. And at any other time, I would not get so excited about this, and I know that these are lower minted anyway, but I have not, like, this is the first 2024 nickel that I have ever found. 2024 has been over for 2 years, and it has taken me until March 21st of 2026 to finally find one of these in circulation. Holy cow. And these things, I mean, these things sell for at least, you know, for a couple bucks a piece still. Holy cow, what a fantastic find. And I have some other rules like this, so maybe we'll get some more. Holy cow, who knows, maybe I should go back through some of these other rules and make sure I didn't miss any other ones. Holy cow, you guys do not know how long you guys do not know how satisfying this is. This is more rare for me than finding a V-nickel. Like, this, if you think about it, as far as numbers go, this is literally more rare for me than finding a V-nickel. Even though I haven't found a V-nickel in 2 years. Holy crap, guys. Holy crap. Finally found my first 2024 Jefferson nickel in circulation. That is fantastic. All right, let's keep going. All right, second from the end, and I got a 1948. I don't know, this one kind of has the look of being a semi-key date. And it is. I don't know. Sometimes with the 48s and 49s, they just kind of have that look. Like, you can kind of just tell. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Same with the, like, for example, the 1955 Philly nickels. Sometimes you can just tell by the obverse what mint mark it's going to be. Yep. We got a semi-key day. That's another good find. Not nearly as good as the 2024, though. But, yeah. Let's keep going. Alright, continuing on with customer wrapped towards the end of this roll. I got a 1946 out of San Francisco again. And in another roll, we had gotten a very beat up 1958 out of Denver. Alright, let's keep searching. Alright, I got another 40s. I did also have a few more 50s that I've been piling up. I got this very oddly toned 1954 out of San Francisco. It's in pretty good shape. It's our third from that year. We got a 1958 Denver in much better shape than the last one. And then we got a 1955, which is a new one. Definitely a new one. But I got a 40s in this roll. 1947. Out of Philly, very worn. But that is our first from that year. So we're getting a pretty good mix of dates, but nothing crazy insane so far. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, this roll had quite a few finds in it. We got, in another roll, got another 1954 out of San Francisco. But we got a lot of finds in this roll. We got a 1957 Denver, one out of Philly from 1957, which is another new year for us. Yep, another new year. A 1958 Denver, and a 1939. Philadelphia, and I will check for doubling off camera. Let's keep going. All right, I'm on the last roll, and don't think we're gonna pull out any silver in this hunt, which I guess is, it's fine. I mean, in our last two mixed coin hunts, we pulled out 4 silver nickels, two in each hunt. So I guess we're bound to have some nickels in a mixed hunt where we don't get silver. But I see what looks like a couple. Excuse me, a couple. One looks a little older. We got a 1958 Denver. We had quite a few of those. Is this one older? Nope, 64. I've only found that one 2024, but I'm glad we found it. I mean, it took me so long. Nope, nothing else in the store. It took me so long to find one. So yeah. All right, and that's cool because we have 3 now, and 2 of the ones that I got on eBay, I only have 2 of the. I have 2 of the Denver and 2 of the Philly. So yeah, and it's cool because the Denver is the one you want to find. It has quite a bit lower mintage, and the Denver 2024 nickels are the ones you want to find. They're the ones collectors really want, because they're lower minted. So yeah, I wasn't when at this point it's been so long. It's been so long for me to not find one. It would have been equal chances for me to find a Philly or a Denver, but I'm glad I found a Denver, because those are the more desirable of the two. So, all right, let's move on to dimes. I really hope we get some, because we have a lot here. All right, guys, this is a really good sign. It's funny, because I have had such bad luck when I've done larger... or I've done mixed hunts where I've had a larger amount of dimes. I have had such bad luck with larger dime hunts. I was honestly anticipating going through, opening every single one of these rolls, and I don't know if other coin roll hunters can relate, but it's like when you get a batch of coins that don't produce anything, and you go roll after roll after roll, and you know that you're gonna get skunked, but you just keep going and going and going just in case you might get something. Well, I'm only on the second roll of dimes, and right smack dab in the middle, I don't know if you can see it, that's gotta be silver. We got silver. Denver minted, 1954. We did get silver. And it makes me kind of sad a little bit because they had a ton more dimes at this chase. They had a ton more dimes. So, makes me kind of sad that I didn't get more of them. But seriously, they had a ton of dimes there. They had like $1,300. So I couldn't have bought all of them even if I wanted to, because I just didn't have that on me at that moment. But yeah, it's kind of sad. I should have, it's one of those things where it's like you never really know to get more coins because you don't know how good they're going to be. And it was in one of these rolls too. And I started with the ones that were all like this because I don't usually tend to get as much in these, but yeah, I really hope that isn't just a really good start and we don't get anything else, but I'm not going to say anything else. I hopefully did not just jinx it. All right, guys. I really hope this could be a good sign. Very next roll. And I saw another edge. We got another one. Looks like dimes might be paying off. Finally, I'm so glad that a larger dime hunt is finally paying off. Denver minted, 1963. And looking at the wraps, it does look like it's the same variation. So, yeah. Hopefully, that's silver number 2. So hopefully we can get some more. Silver dime number 2 on the board. And it's nice that we're getting a couple silver dimes because, as you guys know, silver dimes I have struggled with in the past few months. So let's hope that's not the end of it. All right, continuing on with dimes, I am 9 rolls through, and I got a Canadian here. Right here. Canadian dime. Oh. Canadian dime 2007. All right, that is our third find from the dimes. I wanted to share also. I have so far I've gotten 2 of the 1970. Oh, that is a really weird toned 1965. But I got I've gotten 2 1970 proof reverse dimes so far, and this one is interesting. It is a proof reverse 1970D, but it has like a proof finish on the back too. It's hard to come up on camera, but it's also got like a bit of a proof reverse. I don't know. Maybe this is like, I know with some coin varieties there are different stages. Like I know with like some different DDOs there are different die stages. I wonder if this is something like that. I'm not really well versed in that stuff, but it has like a proof reverse. Not even just the torches on the flame, but yeah, I don't know, kind of interesting. Anyway, let's keep going. All right, guys. Well, I thought we were done with dimes, but I have only 3 rolls left to go. I'm on this roll. It's actually the only roll of its type. I thought for sure I'd get something in this roll, but yeah, I guess it just sometimes look older. And I think honestly, I'm starting to wonder whether these types of wrappers are actually older. I think sometimes these aren't older at all. Like they're just as brand new as these ones are. But that's just the style. They just look a little bit vintage. So I think that's what that's all about. But this is a good roll, guys, because we have not 1 but 2 silver dimes in here. One of them was, I don't know if I can angle the light up a bit to show you. One of them was a little hard to see because it was so dirty, but right there, and then one right there, that's pretty dang worn. Let's check out this one first. I did get a glimpse of the date. It is very beat up, but we got a 1958. Yeah, which is cool because that's a date that I have not found before. I feel like I've found at least one year of every date in the 50s, and I don't know why it is not focusing. You know what? I'm gonna put these down temporarily. I don't know why. I don't know what is going on here. Yeah, 1958, out of Denver. Oh, and I think I can see it. Hold on. Yeah. So that is silver dime number 3, and then... Oh man, I was really hoping that it could have been a Merc dime. It's not, but 1960 out of Denver. Man, I was really hoping that was a Merc dime. I haven't found a Merc dime in forever, but that is 2 silver dimes in the same roll. 1960 out of Denver. So that is awesome. I'm again, as I said, I'm really happy that that the dimes panned out. So yeah, we got 3 more rolls left, and then we have a batch of quarters. So let's keep going. All right, so I went through all those quarters, and unfortunately didn't find anything, but it was only $130, so I wasn't necessarily expecting to find anything. But it was a good hunt. I mean, the hunt did pretty much everything I hoped it would do. We got some silver in the dimes, more than I could have realistically hoped for. We got a bunch of finds in the nickels, and we even got some finds in the pennies. So the only coins that didn't didn't really do what I had hoped with the quarters, but, it's overshadowed by the, amount of really good finds we got here. So, as far as side notes, I got this nickel here. It's a Denver Mint, and it's damaged to the point where I can't see a date, so I'm going to hold on to it in case it does end up being pre-1960. And then I got a few of those 1970 proof reverse dimes, and then that odd one that looks like it actually has like a proof reverse finish. I don't know. Could just be polished, could just be in decent shape. But yeah, I got quite a bit of those this time. I think like a couple from Philly and a few from Denver, but I got like 5 of them, so got quite a bit. Maybe it's because I had more dimes than usual. Got a couple interesting toned coins from the nickels and dimes. Got another really nice 2006. The only thing I pulled out in the quarters at all was another extra claw error. And it is in decent shape, but I find those so often they're more side finds at this point. So as for pennies, I mean, that one roll pretty much saved us. We got 53S and 2 from 1945, both out of Philly. And then as for nickels, we got, in the 50s, 1 from 59 only, surprisingly. A ton from 58, like 5. 2 from 57, 1 from 55. A couple from 54, one of them having kind of intriguing toning to it. I don't know, it's a little strange. And then one from 1951. And then a 1949 Denver, one of the other notable finds in the nickels. A 1948S, that is a semi-key date. We got a 1947, 2 from 1946, both out of San Francisco, funny enough. And then another good find in the nickels, 1939. I'm always happy to take those. Haven't found a 1938 in a while, but I love finding the 39s. And then probably definitely the best find of the nickels, a coin that is rarer than V nickels for me to find. I finally found my very first 2024. Finally. So that's definitely a good relief there. And then we got in the dimes, we got that 2007 Canadian dime. I thought for sure we'd find some more foreigns. Surprised we only found 1, but we got 4 silvers. We got a 1963 Denver. We got a 1960 Denver that I thought was going to be a bit older, but those ones can be worn out. This dirty and damaged 1958 out of Denver, but it's a date I've not found before, so that's kind of cool. A little bit of a bucket lister. And then the oldest one was a 1954 out of Denver. So you know what? I mean, the dimes did what I hoped they would. I was so expecting that I was just going to be skunked. Like, I was so thinking, okay, yeah, I'm going to be, like, it's going to be one of those situations where I get a crap ton of dimes, and they look all cool in different types of wrappers, and then I get into them and I find absolutely nothing. So, I'm happy that did not happen this time, but yeah, I mean, it was a good hunt, and I'm happy that dimes produced the best finds out of all the denominations, because as I have said, I've struggled for silver dimes so far this year. So that'll definitely kick us into gear a little bit more. And I will say, man, it really does hurt that I did not get more dimes than that. I mean, they had some other coin, and like I was trying to prioritize getting pennies because I'm always trying to get pennies, and I was also trying to prioritize getting $50, obviously, and they even had some nickels, so I wanted to prioritize all that stuff. So I really didn't even have a chance to get any more dimes that day. It always is tempting to go back, like try to go back to that bank eventually. Who knows? I might try. I know my dad is going to be off next week, so maybe he can take me. Who knows? But dimes did good, and this hunt did good overall. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.